hero. I'm Wolverine.
Recently, a few weeks ago, we got a new trailer for Marvel's Wolverine, which is set for release as a temporary PS5 exclusive for fall 2026 next year. And what I want to do with this video is discuss the game's missions, bosses, and hubs that will appear in the game. But before I get too far ahead of myself, I do want to go over some important information. This information will be familiar to some, and for others, it'll be completely new. Now, since Marvel's Wolverine is a temporary PS5 exclusive, the other platform that many are probably wondering whether or not the game will appear on is PC. So, is Marvel's Wolverine coming to PC? Yes, it is. And here's the proof. These are the license terms between Insomniac and Marvel for the X-Men franchise specifically. And as you can see up on here, the rest of this is pretty much irrelevant, but up top is what's important. It lists the platforms for these upcoming games that Insomniac is making, which includes Marvel's Wolverine. And at the top, we see PlayStation console and PC. So even though it hasn't been officially announced yet, internally, these games will be coming to PC. So that's the first tidbit of information that everyone should take note of. The second is what Marvel's Wolverine is going to lead into. Marvel's Wolverine basically is one giant setup to another major franchise, which is the X-Men. This game will lead into a series of X-Men games by Insomniac, internally of which there have been 3 X-Men games planned. And the proof of that is right here. Now, this is a roadmap that was leaked as part of the Insomniac leaks. This is obviously an older roadmap, but as we can see, the original plan was to release Marvel's X-Men in 2029 and Marvel's Wolverine in 2025. But since Marvel's Wolverine internally was changed to 2026 for the release window, which has now been officially publicly confirmed, I think it's safe to assume that 2030 is when we'll see the X-Men game by Insomniac, the first one. And somewhere between 2030 and 2034, maybe even beyond that, we're supposed to get 2 more X-Men games. Also, not to get too far off topic here, but we are also supposed to be getting, between Marvel's Wolverine and the X-Men game, the first one, we're supposed to be getting Marvel's Spider-Man 3, which obviously hasn't been announced yet. But sometime after Marvel's Wolverine, we're also supposed to be getting a spin-off game that's going to lead into Marvel's Spider-Man 3, and that is the Venom game, the Venom spin-off, titled Venom Lethal Protector. So this will be a smaller spin-off game, similar to Marvel Spider-Man Miles Morales. And just as that game bridged the gap between Marvel Spider-Man 1 and 2, Venom Lethal Protector will bridge the gap between Marvel Spider-Man 2 and Marvel Spider-Man 3. You'll be able to play as Venom and switch between Venom and some of the other Spider Hero characters. It looks like Carnage will be the main villain of the game, which lines up with Cletus Cassidy's introduction in Marvel Spider-Man 2. There will be Carnage-infected New York City boroughs, 12 missions, 3 event bosses. You'll have quests, challenges, bases, crimes, and collectibles to unlock. And this game will introduce the Eddie Brock character, who was absent in Marvel Spider-Man 2. So getting back to Marvel's Wolverine, for those who don't want any spoilers for this game, now would be the time to go ahead and click off of this video if you do not want any sort of spoilers at all for the game. I will not be discussing any heavy story spoilers in this video. I'm going to avoid talking about the story at any capacity here. I just want to focus on the core information that we know about the game regarding the missions, the bosses, and the hubs. And so this is a leaked wireframe, which basically contains the entire game. This is Marvel's Wolverine from start to finish. The game has 40 missions, it lists a number of the bosses on here, and not only that, but it shows exactly in order the path that the player takes through the game as they progress through the game. And so I do want to explain a few things about this wireframe. We do have some key locations that you will visit, which will act as a mission center for that particular hub. For example, in the Shinjuku hub, we have number 13 Shiro APT. APT stands for apartment. So Logan Wolverine visits an apartment in the Shinjuku hub. And the reason you have all these arrows pointing to the Shiro apartment is because, once again, it acts as the mission center. You'll launch multiple missions from the Shiro apartment, according to this wireframe. And that's not the only location that's like that in the game. There's another one in the Madripoor hub with the village. Now, also, if you pay attention closely, you'll see these white circles with the acronym OW. Now, what does OW stand for? The way I see it, OW stands for open world. Now, is Marvel's Wolverine an open world game? No, it is not. This game is taking heavy inspiration from the newer God of War games. And the newer God of War games, they're not open world games either, but they do have gigantic hubs that are designed as an open world game. And so Marvel's Wolverine is going to basically be the same way. So you're going to have these different hubs. There's 4 different hubs in the game, and they'll have an open world design, but it's not going to be a true open world game in the same vein as something like The Witcher 3, Elden Ring, Zelda Breath of the Wild, that sort of thing. That's not what type of game Marvel's Wolverine is. That's not the type of game that Insomniac is making. So this is not going to be an open world game. You're just going to have big hubs that will act as an open world environment. So I did want to make that very clear. Also, you have certain missions that have LM next to them. And I really had to think about this one, but from my understanding, LM basically stands for, it could either stand for Logan memory or it could stand for lost memory. And basically what it is you have certain missions in the game that act as flashbacks to Wolverine's backstory in the game, and you'll be able to play through those sequences. And so LM is basically like a flashback mission, is the best way to think about it. Now, some of this, in fact, a lot of this may look very confusing still to those that are just, trying to cipher through all the information from the image. So what I've done is I've simplified this image into a compiled list right here. And this is the entire game, once again, based off of the wireframe, the leaked wireframe. And so it goes in order. And I've even included the open world sections and when those are accessible. And I've also put in the Logan or Lost Memory flashback missions as well on the list. And just to kind of explain how this works, back on the wireframe, you have Team X Trask. That's the first mission right there. And then that goes into the safe house. After that, it goes into Project X Escape. After that, it goes into Healing Winter, Mountain. And then you have the Institute Spring. And then that'll go into mission number 7, Burns, Hunting. And then you'll access your first open world environment in the game. And that's basically what I've mapped out here, just to give an idea of how I compiled this list. So let's discuss the bosses that are going to appear in the game, the ones that have been confirmed on this wireframe. So the first is Omega Red, who appears in the Alaska hub, and that's mission number 10. Omega Red was shown briefly in the most recent trailer for Marvel's Wolverine. And here's basically a concept. This is directly from Insomniac. As you can see down here, it says Confidential Sony Interactive Entertainment. So this is directly from Insomniac. And here's another one. Looks very similar to what was shown in the trailer and, what we're going to get in the final game. So there's Omega Red. Then the next major boss is Lady Deathstrike in the Shinjuku hub. Now I do have images as well for Lady Deathstrike, but I'm not going to show them because Insomniac hasn't officially revealed her yet. So I kind of want to hold off on certain things, on showing too much. So after that, there is a mission that's worth noting on here, which is mission number 26, Mystique. Mystique was shown in the trailer for Marvel's Wolverine briefly, but we didn't see her actually interacting with him. And if you know anything about the leaked story for the game, then you do know that Mystique and Logan do cross paths. And here's basically like a concept for Mystique, using different versions of the character. And here is like some concept art that someone threw together at Insomniac Games. Now, it should be noted that Mystique is not listed as a boss on this wireframe. However, this video, which is the leaked story, the storyboards for the game, do confirm that Mystique does fight Wolverine at some point. And one of the first leaked images for this game from the Insomniac leaks is this image right here, which clearly shows Mystique kicking Wolverine in the face. And also, just from this image alone, this matches the concept art that we have here. She's wearing this white battle gear. So all of this is definitely going to be in the game. And my guess is that Mystique is going to be like a mini boss of sorts. So after Mystique, we have the Sentinel boss, which was shown very briefly at the end of the most recent trailer for Marvel's Wolverine. Here's an image of that right here. And here's another image, a better image. And the Sentinel boss is called the Alpha Sentinel. And that will take place in Madripoor, according to this image. And that also lines up with the leaked wireframe. Sentinel boss will be mission number 33. So after the Sentinel boss, we have Sabretooth. That's going to be mission 37. Although I think it's possible they may have moved Sabretooth to an earlier section of the game based off of this video. So I do think that is possible. And then after Sabretooth, the last boss in the game will be Sinister, Mr. Sinister, who is the main villain of the game and hasn't been revealed yet by Insomniac. So I will not discuss the character of Mr. Sinister outside of the fact that he is a boss and is the main villain of the game. That is your leaked wireframe. There's going to be 11 hours of gameplay, set around 17 minutes per mission as an estimate, and 4 hours of cinematics. All of it's going to add up to 15 hours. So it's going to be around the same length as Marvel Spider-Man 2. Not too long, but not too short either. Around standard length for an action-adventure game. And so with all that said, the last thing I want to answer or address is where is most of this footage for this particular trailer coming from in the game? Well, from what I've analyzed, the footage in this trailer is primarily coming from two different sections in the game, two different hubs. The first is the Alaska hub, and the second is the Madripoor hub. I don't believe this trailer has shown anything from the Shinjuku or the Avalon hubs. Now, there are some parts that I'm a little curious about, such as the section where Wolverine is riding his motorcycle. I'm not exactly sure which part of the game this could be coming from, but just thinking about it, it has to be coming from at least the Madripoor hub or later in the Avalon hub. My guess would be Madripoor is where this particular section of the game is coming from. And there's a very key specific reason for that, and perhaps I'll discuss that in a different video. I'm not going to get into that here. Now, as a quick note, who are these cybernetic enemies that Wolverine is fighting? I believe these characters are called the Reavers. And again, this is one of the leaked images from the Insomniac leaks. And basically, they're like half human, half robot, basically cyborg, cybernetic type of enemies. yeah, cyborgs are augmented with transforming limbs, enhanced senses, natural armor. So yeah, they're cyborgs, is what they are. Here's yet another concept. I have more concept art, but I'm not going to dive too deep into everything that I do have because that would just make the video too long. And I don't even know if this design made its way into the final version of the game. This could just be a concept that, was scrapped somewhere in the development process. I don't know because I don't work for Insomniac. So I don't know if any of these designs have been scrapped or not. Yeah, I have more where that came from, but perhaps I'll make another video about that some other time. One thing I did forget to mention earlier with the wireframe is there's a certain character that's going to appear in the game. Insomniac Games hasn't revealed her just yet, but if you know anything about the Insomniac leaks, then you'll know that Jean Grey is in this game, and she is going to be playable in certain missions of the game, which you can see here and there on this wireframe. And I did take it upon myself in my list to list the missions where I believe Jean Grey will be playable, missions where she'll appear. So hopefully we do get some more information on Jean Grey soon, because I do have quite a bit to show for that particular character. Another thing I want to mention is this location right here. This is the same location from the original debut trailer for this game, where Wolverine is in the bar and he's surrounded by a group of enemies. And this is called the Princess Bar. You can see the sign up here, Princess. Now, where in the game is this taking place? This is taking place in the Madripoor hub, mission number 24. So it's soon after you arrive to the Madripoor hub. Now, again, I will not be discussing the story in any detail, so I'm not going to talk about why Wolverine goes to this bar. All of that was detailed in the story leak video that I showed briefly earlier. So I'm not going to go over that information because that does lead into spoiler territory, and I do want to try and avoid any spoilers when it comes to the story of the game. So yeah, basically that's what you're looking at with Marvel's Wolverine. It's going to be a straightforward action adventure game with some open world style hub areas. There's going to be a handful of different unique bosses that you will encounter that are familiar to comic book enthusiasts. And as a fan of the X-Men in particular, there's going to be quite a few characters in this game that I think fans will be very satisfied to see Insomniac's interpretation. Again, this game comes out in fall of 2026. Right now, it's currently my most anticipated game that's coming out next year, and I hope that it does live up to expectation. When Insomniac has more to show, that's probably when I'll discuss the game again, unless I have another idea for something else soon. But they already confirmed there's not going to be another look at this game, at least until spring. So that's a few months away. So around March or so, March, April, somewhere around there. That's probably when we'll see the game again.